game-changing technology of new distribution channels, i.e. NDC, which is a very exciting topic that we're going to have for the next hour. So let's start off by asking you a question.
Sure.
What's your love and hate relationship with NDC? How do you get involved, and what brings you here?
I've been involved with NDC since 2017, and it really was an exercise where I was working to says, what is going to be the next 5-10 years of distribution change, and that's why I came to find out that NDC was going on. It was interesting to me because it had been started since 2012, and I really hadn't heard about it.
Wow. And you've been in the industry for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. And one of the things that was a challenge then with NDC, and is still a challenge today, and will probably be a challenge for the foreseeable future, was one of the biggest issues was around shopping volumes. And having come from a very large OTA, we had a lot of experience on trying to scale shopping and the complexities and cost involved with it.
Right.
So it was very interesting, even from that perspective, to say, how is NDC, how are the airlines going to take on that challenge and try to solve for it? So the love is sort of thinking about these big problems, and sort of the hate is I've been doing it now for almost 10 years. It feels like 8 years, and we're still answering the same question, and there really isn't good solutions for it. And as you hear about things like agentic AI, these are things that are actually going to continue to expand and make problems even harder to solve. So there's shopping was a big piece of it, and the next piece, and this really was more of an evolution for me, was understanding that NDC has got a lot of things that it can bring, and the first, when you think about it, is about trying to replace current processes and practices through different technology platforms. Kind of boring if you just think about it from that perspective. But as you start to talk to and work with airlines that have done the innovative stuff around NDC, a good one I like to talk about is those that have implemented the entire platform within the airline, so they can bring capabilities that they've developed for an airline and expand those to the customer, ultimately the traveler through the travel agents. Schedule change disruption, automated, rebooking and things like that. Pretty powerful features that you can only get when you actually have it enabled through NDC. So it's nice to see some of those future applications actually come to be and being able to benefit from them. So it's good to see that stuff come forward. Yeah.
So the vision is very grand. And we hope that everything will implement accordingly.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Let's talk about adoption. Yeah. So one of the observations we have right now is the adoption is very uneven, meaning Europe and North America actually have much higher adoption of NDC compared to LATAM and Africa.
Yep.
And how's that shaping the whole global distribution in your mind? And how can the underdeveloped markets catch up?
Yeah. So, I think the reasons why Europe and North America are so advanced in their adoption, and even within that segment, if you were to look at adoption on a different segmentation layer, it's OTAs are way more advanced than TMCs, and it really is because of the types of features and capabilities that the TMC might require to bring their customers along, their corporations along. That if the airline or the NDC schema APIs don't define the use cases, capabilities that they have become accustomed to, it makes it hard to bring adoption.
Absolutely.
And you can't define schema and not implement it. So there's a long catch up that the industry's got to go through in terms of defining things and then having them implemented across the board. So it's a long. So the TMC community is behind for that reason.
There are a lot of different scenarios that need to be covered, right, in order for them to adopt it.
The other piece, and they go hand in hand, right? So there's a lot of technology that you need to put in place to get NDC out as an airline, right? You've got to decide, are you going to build it yourself? Are you going to work with a third party? What does that implementation look like? What's the you need to sell it to your board. They need to get on, yes, I'm going to spend, hundreds of millions of dollars to transform how I do things. There's contracts that you have in place that sometimes they prevent you from being able to change how you do distribution. So there's a lot of mechanics. And I just think that the European, North American airlines are farther ahead in thinking through that long-term vision. So they're able to get to it earlier than the others. Probably the next thing is if you look at, I think if the travel ecosystem, to be effective at driving change, you really need to be a market leader and have some bit of market power that allows you to push transformation in this space, because it takes a lot as an airline to make change, but there's a lot of economic factors that you need everybody else to be behind around making the change too, right? So if you were to say parity between legacy distribution and NDC, and you look at what the cost is to build, to maintain, adapt all of your systems and processes, it's a pretty large expense. Yeah. And if there's no value, people aren't going to do it. So the airlines really needed to think through and find out how they were going to work with the industry to say, how do I drive adoption? And I just think the European airlines and the North American airlines are further along in that process. So they've just had more time to sort of think that through and get it done. Yeah. I do think that everyone learns from each other. It's not like, what Airline One did is this big secret. Generally, the way airlines have forced adoption is to do things, adding surcharge to GDS content, pulling content out of the GDS, or only making available new content in the NDC channel. And everyone can see sort of the uptick as airlines make these changes. So it's a pretty obvious correlation to adoption. And so I think the speed of adoption will be much faster as airlines in the rest of the world when they make that shift. I think the how to do it is now a pretty obvious one.
Yeah, the incentive is definitely there,
yes,
right? But they had to pull around their own ecosystem. It's not one airline. It's not just the airline. It's the entire distribution channel and everything else that comes with it.
You need everything to come along with you.
Yeah, absolutely.